Hi everyone. I wanted to tell you today about a set of tools that I created to help with brass insert installations into plastic parts. As you may know, and there's a lot of videos on YouTube, brass inserts are used often to place into small holes in plastic that are a little bit smaller than the insert, and then soldering iron is used to press those in, and the soldering iron helps melt the plastic, and then as it forms back up, then it makes a nice anchor point to either hook 3D parts back together or circuit boards and things like that. And that's in my case, I use a lot of brass inserts to hold circuit boards in, and I ran into some problems with installing brass inserts with regular conical soldering iron like this. So I've got a Hakko iron. It's got a fairly fine tip on it, and this is kind of the standard procedure now without this tool, but you'd put it on the end of an iron. Even when this is hot, you know, it is possible to get it on like that, as long as you're not holding it too long. And then you would press it into the hole, take a couple seconds to push it down in, and oftentimes it would go in not as straight, and then also because of the conical iron, it would oftentimes catch on the rim of the brass insert. So I had problems like that where I'd oftentimes end up completely ruining a part because the brass insert would come out and then the hole was destroyed, and the part was useless at that point. So if you spent 2 hours or something like that printing a part and then you ruin the piece because the brass insert stuck on your iron, then it's really frustrating. And even though I do a lot of injection molding with medium machinery, injection molding machine, there's still time involved, and it's really frustrating when that happens. So I went looking and saw on the McMaster hardware site that they had brass insert installation tips, and I thought, well, that sounds good, I'm going to order one of those. And it came, and then the first thing I noticed is it didn't have a hole in the middle here to go on to my Hakko iron, and so I needed to buy another iron. I went up and bought the iron that they suggested. They didn't say what it was, but it turned out to be a Weller iron like this. It's I think this is an SP40, a 40-watt iron, and so it comes. It's got this massive chisel tip in there. I'm not sure what you do with that, but you can take that out, and this is a 1/4 inch barrel that their tip would fit in, and so you fit it in and screw it down like you would there. So that's installed. Now the problem is that the length of this tip for a number 440, literally is right there, and so this is the extent of the reach that you have with the thing. And for me, just a regular old circuit board box like this, and trying to get a insert into the corners just didn't work. I mean, by the time you put it into the corner, the side of the soldering iron is melting the side of the box, and so this just turned out to be completely worthless. So I still have a problem. I have a lot of these boxes to do, and so I needed to do something, and so I used Fusion 360, Autodesk's Fusion 360, designed a part here, and then mill this on my CNC machine. And what I did was design 2 different sizes here, one for a number 440 insert and another one for an M5. So this number 440 is what I use all the time, but also M3s work with that, and also there, it's like basically if you can get it in, it'll work. Now the benefit of this is that the small end of this has vertical walls on it, and so the insert will go on very easily. But more importantly, when it's been installed and the iron is hot and you've got it in there and you pull the iron out, the insert will not come with it. So one of the other benefits is that because there's a square shoulder here as opposed to the conical iron tip here, it's a lot easier to actually put one of these things in square. So it's also frustrating to have these in the corners and then the screws are going every which way because you didn't put the insert in square. So the square shoulder here actually helps with that. So that's kind of the basis for how this came about. Now, the back of the installation tip has a 5/32 hole in it, and that was drilled specifically so it would fit a Hakko iron. And as far as I know, this is the only installation tip out there that'll actually fit a Hakko iron. And I know these are very popular. I got this one from Sparkfun, and so you can basically take the heat insert installation tip, put it back over the heating element. That's what this is a ceramic heating element, and then put the sleeve back on. That retains the item in there, and so that's solid. Now the ceramic ends up heating up the brass installation tip, and even when this is hot, you can put an insert on it pretty fast, like that. As long as it's quick, you're not going to burn yourself at all. I mean, you can pick them up, by picking them up out of your box and stuff like that. But once you got it on here, it's going to get hot really fast, and then you can press it in. I use this at soldering iron temperatures, so I don't even change the temperature. Once you get the hang of it, that particular temperature will work pretty good because it goes in fast and you pull it out and it's done. So if you've got a lot of these to do, you'll get the hang of it. If you're just starting out, I'd lower the soldering iron temperature because the melt will happen more slowly. You kind of get more of the hang of how it's all gonna work. So as long as your heat is hot enough to eventually melt the plastic, you'll eventually get the job done. So if it's too hot, you'll see it smoke, and that you'll know it's too hot, so turn it down. But for me, I can do this, and this is ABS plastic, and I can do that at a normal soldering iron temperature. So hopefully what you see here is that we've got a tool now that is long enough that lets you reach into the corners of fairly small or tight spaces, like the corner of an enclosure like this. And because the shaft of this is not big, it's only just barely bigger than the 440 itself, you get a lot more reach into the box, and you're not going to melt the sides. You got a square shoulder, and it's going to help you get the inserts into the box square. So anyway, hopefully that helps. I've got some links to where you can get this. I went ahead and put them up on Amazon, some other places, so feel free to take a look at it. We appreciate your business, and give some comments on how you think it works. Thank you.